What's poppin', y'all? I didn't think this new Akademiks beef would get this dirty. Like, this is a mudslinging fest this quickly. I thought it would get more, violence threatening, but it's not the case. So this all started with a podcast called Let's Rap About It that was started by Maino, a rapper that we haven't heard from since All the Above, which is probably what T-Pain was talking about when he was handing people hits back in 2009. That was the last song that I ever heard from Maino. And he's a New York City rapper. He's been in and out of prison for like his early career, and now he's more of an elder guy, but he's also known for, finding people that talked bad about him and letting them know that's not okay. We also have Dave East, who was a member of the 2016 XXL Freshman Cypher. Yes, New York rapper as well. And we have Fabulous, who's another member of that podcast, who's a New York, New Jersey rapper. He spends time in Jersey, but I'm pretty sure he's originally from New York. Fab is for sure from New York. It's just that a lot of these rappers move to Jersey so quick, and then a guy like Fab, he spent 20 plus years or in his career, so he's out of there. And this started off with Akademiks talking about one of their fashion decisions on this podcast. So I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
Fabulous being like 49 with the headband, like, yo, why is he wearing? Yo, the headband is for sweat. Like, yo, Fab is on some. Yo, the headband is for sweat, Fab. Fab, the headband is for you sweating. You're sitting down podcasting, my. Like, come on, bro. Like, the headband looks wild. Like, this is unk activity. Like, this is what? This is like you having the Allen Iverson sleeve on and you're just chilling. Like, that's for a reason.
So here he's talking about this headband that Fabulous got on. Now, I don't know if it's just a headband, if he's got a do-rag and a headband on for the headband to hold the do-rag, or if it's one of those hats that looks like this, because there is a hat that looks like that. But yeah, he's just roasting them. He's kind of making some remarks where it's like, rap ain't working, so come over here. And you know what's funny about this? I think he could have came a little bit harder at the rap careers, because when you look at the 2016 XXL freshman list, the biggest quote-unquote failure, if you want to say, is Dave East. He was the worst performing one, because you think about Dave East and G Herbo had the same cipher together. And G Herbo, he had that song Went Legit this year. G Herbo's just been consistently good, growing year over year. And then you've got Denzel Curry, who's been a success, right? The only person you could have compared Dave East to is Designer, but Designer had a diamond hit. And on top of that, Designer's kind of having a little bit of a revival right now. Like, there's been motion around Designer's rapping. Partially it's because he's rapping different and there's the novelty factor about it where they're like, yo, this guy can rap normally. Yeah, if you can't rap normally, it's highly unlikely that you started making music or rap music. We even saw XXX rapping normally. So Dave East has been somebody he's just struggled to get on to the next level. But so after these headband comments, Maino could not wait to start the podcast and came at Ak for making fun of their fashion decisions. And part of this was Akademiks calling them teen year citizens, which is these guys are 45 plus, some of them 50 plus, and they're talking about, they're just trying to be with the youth. He's attaching them to Jim Jones as well. So I'm gonna play you guys that clip of Maino reacting right now.
Academics, I know you're not talking. 100%. I know you're not talking. You got the audacity to be speaking on and what is wearing. You talking about what is wearing? You talking about the proximity between what is wearing and their age? Let me explain something to you. You're a journalist and this is your opinion, so let me give you my opinion on you. I feel like you built like a I feel like you built like no, listen, 100%. Listen, I feel, let me just say how I feel. I feel like you built like a wet bag of laundry. I feel like you're built. No, listen, I feel like you're built like a jar of relish. You understand? You see, here's the thing. Like, this ain't no gangster talk. We ain't gonna do no gangster. But listen, what I'm saying, since you want to speak about, young niggas, old niggas, and when you do that, you indirectly causing division between young and old. Ain't no difference between young and old. It's only time. It's either you a lame or you not. It's either you with it or you not. It's either you understand or you don't. Period. Point blank. You understand? And when you speak about fashion and when you speak about what wearing today, let me just give you some game, though. Timbs, Air Force Ones, Pelés, Averexes, and all the things that you see people wear today, those things was made hot in this generation here. Those are the things that was made hot in the 80s and the 90s, and we made popular. So, like, leave out of that. Like, you giving it your opinion, and my opinion of you is I think you built like a woman with 4 kids. Like, what are we really talking about? No. Let me talk though, because this is the problem. Talking every day we wake up saying.
So at this point, this is all in good fun. Keep in mind though, this is escalating it because first off, Akademiks comes at their careers a little bit, but I don't think they took too much offense to that because now they're in the podcast game. But he came for what they're wearing, which is, it's funny. Like, yo, what the hell are you guys, what are those? You remember that? Maino is turning it into what Akademiks looks like or what he's shaped like, right? So this is a minor escalation. And it is funny though. Maino's response is funny, but he could have came at Akademiks with a list of different outfits that he was made fun of for. He could have brought a different printouts showing them what he was wearing at Everyday Struggle, just different fits that people make fun of Akademiks for. He could have made fun of him for Cardi dressing him up, talking about, oh, I would never let another man dress me up. Just a bunch of different material that he could have come up with, but he didn't, and he came with this, which wasn't bad either. However, things would escalate a little bit because Akademiks, he would react to this and start off with a brutal roast. And I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
Hold on. Yo, by the way, Maino, you know we're potted, right? I got to put some ground rules down into this because you know these when you beat them with the words, now they try to beat you up. I got to put some ground rules. Yo, when you beat them with the words, they try to hold on now. I was speaking of Fab. Fab over there with a pinky up, he's sipping, while like his boo, Maino, is over here going crazy for him. Like, yo, what? Yo, he could talk too. But okay, I bet. He gonna hold it down for his boo. I get it.
Yo. I feel.
Look, you know what I mean? He blushing. Now Maino, he popping, and here we go.
Let me just say how I feel. I feel like you built like a wet bag of laundry.
That's good. I like that one.
I feel like.
I've heard that before, though. Jim, don't laugh too much. You still, that beard is too gray. I got you, too. Don't worry. Hey, by the way, I want to let y'all know, if any of y'all get mad, we're potted. Okay?
Like you're built. No, listen. I feel like you're built like a jar of relish.
Woo! That was a good one. I had to Google that one. That was good though.
You understand? You see. Here's the thing. Like this ain't no gangster talk. We ain't gonna do no gangster. Listen, what I'm saying.
Okay, yo. Now I do want to point out to y'all, the whole time Jim Jones is. We ain't see y'all talk about a Max B topic yet, but okay. I want to see you do that to that, but okay, I got you. Then Fabulous is the nigga I was talking to, and he's sitting in the corner sipping tea, pinkies up, and we got Maino showing up like he's in the principal office. He's in the principal office when your mama show up trying to say why the teacher bullying my kid, and he over there acting like he ain't a bad one. Yo, Fab, I heard all your raps. You could talk, but okay, I'll let your boo talk for you.
Saying you since you want to speak about young old, and when you.
Right there, chat. That senior citizen comment. Yo, chat, let me tell you this. I keep telling y'all the reason why I'm undefeated online, because I'm going to figure out what really triggers y'all. When I said these, let me pull up all their ages. This is what hurts them. Look, right here. Maino H. Maino is 52 years old, y'all, chat. That shit is hurting. Okay, I got you, bro. Jim Jones H. 49. Fabulous with the headband H.
So here, Akademiks prefaced it by saying, like, hey, so you're sure, Maino, we are just podcasting right now. Like, I'm not trying to get into it with you. I don't want any problems, which is fair. He's like, look, listen, this is some podcast. We're not actually beefing, because he talks about having linked up with Maino before, pouring up shots, enjoying their time together, unlike Jim Jones, who Jim Jones pulled up on him with some energy where it's like, yo, you got a problem? Nah, so he starts making fun of Maino where he's like, yo, I was talking about Fab. Fab and you coming out here defending your boo, this is funny. I don't think this is an escalation because, let's be real, we know these guys are not HOMOs, right? We know they're not Rainbow Crew. We know that. So this isn't too much of an insult, and he's still just talking about their relationship. So this is still all in good fun, right? They're just laughing at each other, trading words. There's nothing that's taking it to the next level. However, though, unfortunately, Maino could not handle being called old from what it looks like, because he would come back with something dastardly. So keep in mind, at this point, Akademiks still hasn't really escalated it. Like, first it was Akademiks they talked about how Akademiks was built, right? So now you're not just talking about the person's relationship or like his homies, right? You're talking about how he's built. And then Akademiks is still just talking about their dynamic and their age. And people call Akademiks old too. That's the funny part. But he doesn't take it to heart like these guys do. People talk about Akademiks lying about his age, which I don't think is true. Like, people saying, nah, he was actually born in 87, not 91. I'm just like, bro, frankly, does it really matter? Does it? I mean, you got Charlemagne that's still talking about hip-hop stuff, and was Charlemagne born in the 80s or the late 70s? I don't know, frankly. But Maino gets in his car, and he starts going brutal with it. And this is where I think, this is, the first one was a minor escalation, which is all in good fun, right? Like, Akademiks is largely known for the McDonald's memes. And Akademiks decided to take some material from Maino. He decided to dish out publicly, and this was hilarious. I'm going to play you guys this clip right now.
The big dictator.
Yes.
Did you like that?
Huh?
No, what was the role play? Yeah.
The role play.
What was the roles?
This feels like it's going to be so wrong.
It's so wrong. I'm going to tell you right now. I've never talked about this.
Ah,
You should talk about it.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, no.
Maino, what? Oh my God.
I like to play like a runaway slave.
Okay.
I like to play like a disobedient slave with a white woman.
So tell me like what you said.
The big dictator. Whole time I'm calling you Maino, I should call you Toby. Whole time I'm calling you Maino, your name should be Maino Kente. Kunta Maino. Kunta Kente. Whatever. Whatever one you want. Maino, you see you don't up, right?
Say.
Yes, Massa. I was sorry.
It's two of them. Like, it's like me getting whooped, right?
Maino, you, the big dictator, fantasize about getting whooped.
This is crazy, because you got to keep in mind, Maino is also talking about how, Ak wasn't player, and, he wouldn't understand. He gets used by chicks, this and that. When Akademiks also pulled up a clip of him talking about having dropped 10 bands at the strip club and not getting anything and feeling like he should have got something else because of that. But this is where Maino he couldn't even wait until the next podcast recording to deliver this response, where he took things to another level, and I feel like he failed. Major failure here. I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now.
Okay.
Was it your lane when that lady said that you forced herself on her? Huh? Is that your lane?
Exactly my point, chat. You could tell he's in his feelings. We went from joking on each other. He's making accusations that you should know. It's the same thing we said about Drake and Kendrick. Once people start saying accusations like that, we're no longer in a joking mood, right? There's a few women who hit me up about Maino who would love to put things out. I have declined, because once you go that realm, if you are publishing things that are false, accusing a man of doing some of the most heinous things, it means you want to take it another route.
Huh? Is that your lane? All word, because that's what you accused for, right? Ain't that you paid out for?
Maino, I can file a lawsuit for you for even saying that. I've never paid out $1 for any type of assault or any type of allegations regarding sex or any woman. I've never paid out $1. That would be a lawsuit, but that wouldn't be too cool, right? But it just tells me you're in your feelings. You're just making sure.
Now, this is the problem. He couldn't hold it up. Like I said earlier, and this is a major escalation, because you're like, yo, ain't this you? Akademiks pulled up something that he talked about publicly. And like I said earlier, he could have pulled up the initial response to the headband by bringing out a bunch of, their producer needs to help them with this. Like, they need a smart producer, because these guys aren't going to think about it themselves. I don't think think they're used to doing back and forths, different roasts, especially on the internet. Maino's probably just used to bullying people. He's like, yo, this guy said something. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, let's get him beat up or something like that. I mean, he did have a kidnapping charge years ago. So instead of keeping the conversation about being player, right, which is the back and forth talk somewhat that was going on between Maino and Akademiks. So Akademiks is like, yo, you're the big D dictator and you're posing as somebody that's got to run away from their white master. Like, what the hell's going on there? And you're throwing these bans at the strip club. And Akademiks talks about like, oh, I've never handed out money at the strip club. I've never paid for a chick direct, or unless she was my girlfriend or something like that. And instead of keeping it on the player talk, he goes directly to, yo, ain't this you? You caught this case. You had to pay out, which he hasn't had to pay out. The case is still ongoing. But this was the biggest missed opportunity because he could have kept it on the player talk. Because the reason that Akademiks ever got this civil case, by the way, is because he couldn't keep a player. That was the reason. Because he had decided to open his mouth. And the embarrassment led to that chick being like, oh no, I didn't want that to happen. So for those of you that don't recall what happened, it had come out that like he was on stream or something. Like his girl at the time was angry at him, but he drives to his studio, starts a podcast / stream, and airs out the situation. He's like, yeah, this chick, what happened was she was staying at my crib, and then I cracked or something like that, and then I seen on the cam she was getting cracked by my two homies. So two of his mans, they were training her, and then he's like, yeah, and she was trying to pretend like nothing ever happened, and she was like, yeah, it was fun, this and that. And I'm like, yo, you got cracked by two of my mans. And she was like, oh, and then I forgot what happened, but she was saying that she had a good time, all of this and that. When he was asking her about how the day went, he didn't specifically ask about that event, and then he asked about the event. But him bringing this to the public on the podcast resulted in her saying that he essayed her after that or before that, and this led to the case. So had Akademiks not talked about this situation, he likely would have never faced this civil case from this lady, because after that people started like harassing her and found her name, and they were like, yo, this is the chick that got a train ran on her, and she's feeling so embarrassed that maybe that distorts how she felt about the situation in the past, because all of these guys are in that lawsuit now, unfortunately for them. So what he could have done instead is be like, come on, man, you going through this lawsuit, you wouldn't have gone through this lawsuit if you kept it player. He's like, as many times as I've run away from these, I think like the whole running away thing with the master, I don't know how you can really defend that, but you can shift it to this situation where you're like, yo, you caught this lawsuit because you couldn't keep a player. Like, us old heads, we know how to do that. That's why we're not dealing with a situation like that right now, although he does have his own history. And then he brings out the 15-year-old, the mod for Blackboy Max, which was a very, very big error on Akademiks' part, and it was very inappropriate, and he's still indefinitely banned from Twitch because of that. Akademiks can't appear on Twitch streams because of that situation, so that really harmed him. But he's trying to point it out like, oh yeah, he's a deviant, and like anybody that tried to point it out like Akademiks was into dudes and the kid is just you're dragging it, you're stretching it, and that's not the case. So for him to call Akadeviant when he out of his own mouth is talking about activities that are quite deviant is a little bit wild. But I think that's how he could have kept it fun. But now once he took it to this point, it's like, dog, you're just like escalating the level of disrespect, because that's something that it's harming your sponsors, it's harming your deals, it's harming your genuine reputation, and it's not something that he has put out there. Like Maino, he was on that podcast, which was Angela Yee's Lip Service, where they talk about grimy, dirty stuff like that, and he volunteered that information knowing that it was on a podcast. So I think that was like dirty-ish by Maino, but it's because Maino just doesn't know how to play this game. He's built to tell stories, not get into back and forths with people. Like, for example, Fat Joe and Jadakiss, I think they could do this a little bit better, but Maino, he's I think he's better off just telling his stories, telling tales of the times that he used to be in the rap game, and they have discussions about that. Because going back and forth, it does not seem to be his strong suit unless it's going to escalate to the physical level. And then Akademiks made it clear in the beginning. He's like, yo, listen, I'm not trying to get into no beef with you. We're just doing this podcast talk. We've got rules of engagement. Like, you're not about to start throwing elbows or kicks in the boxing ring. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one.